What is up, guys? It is your boy c-niice here. I'm back with another episode of the podcast. For this week, we have someone new, someone who you wouldn't expect to be on this early, someone who doesn't even live around me at the time, but hopefully soon. A friend from college, my first roommate ever, Ryan Horsford. Welcome, Ryan.
Hello. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So,
Beautiful intro, by the way.
Yep, thank you. I tried my hardest, man. I'm still sweating. But I think a great way to start this podcast is different than the other ones, is like kind of get that origin story of where we became friends. Just because like my other friends are like, like high school and like we knew each other in some, how it's
You don't even know how you met your friends in high school. You just kind of like, you're like, I had you in like physics or whatever, but you don't really know.
You were playing soccer in gym class and one kicked you in the face and you like almost followed him and you're like, you're actually kind of cool.
Exactly.
But so I remember, I'll tell my little intro story, because I remember I didn't pick my room until orientation. So I didn't pick where I was going to live in Oswego. We went to SUNY Oswego, in case you didn't know, State University of Oswego. Lovely school. I had a great time there. But I remember I didn't even pick my room yet, and I did the last week of orientation, so it was August, and I was like I'm looking, what rooms are left, and it was like, I think it was Hart, I don't remember all of them, but it was like Hart, Moreland, maybe, like Sheldon, or...
Now, not to cut you
No,
off,
take
but
it, yeah.
I picked my room like 3 months earlier than that, and that was way late already.
Yeah.
So you were really
No, I
late.
know. My bread and butter is being late, procrastinate a little bit, but I picked scales. I was like, all right, this building scales. The reason why they was still left was because it was getting renovated halfway through the semester, and it's just annoying to move halfway, not halfway through the semester, halfway through the year, after the first semester. I choked right there, but. So I picked scales. I was like, whatever, this building will be cool. And you said the same thing. You picked it in weeks, months earlier, and it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, no, I remember I was like trying to look for rooms, and my brother was like, he's like, the reason Scales is the last one is because they're renovating it, and like they probably don't want many people to live there. He was right. They're renovating Scales, and we walked in, and like their whole decoration setup was like, oh, like we're under construction, but like half the stuff was like actually under construction.
No, yeah, it was like they were trying to almost start early, but like they couldn't do much, because people are living there.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stories from that place.
Oh,
so I'm thinking about before renovation, the basement, what happened.
I'm thinking about like just that whole like first like week to like a month of everything that happened in that building.
Yeah, I don't want to get out of place with like time wise of like the first semester, but I remember when I first got there and moved in my stuff, the person who helped me was like, oh, what are you, a sophomore, junior? I'm 17 years old, walking to college, so young. I'm like, no, like I'm a freshman. Like, no. And then so they were nice. Everyone there was nice too. And I remember that same, I'm taking over, but I remember that same night, the guy, that there was a senior all the way down the hall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he came up to me. He's like, yo, bro, like you want to drink a beer? You want some beers? And I was like, at this point, like I'd probably tried one beer. Like I didn't drink beer like that. Now as I got older, you kind of just drink whatever. But I was like a vodka liquor kind of person, and I was like, oh no, like I'm okay. I was just so nervous. I was so nervous that first week, honestly.
Yeah. That first week, it was terrifying because I feel like everyone older than me like looked like 43 years.
No, yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I'm way out of my element here. It's not like high school, because you're walking around with grown adults.
No, yeah. Like every once in a while you'll go and you probably noticed it more because you did track and stuff, where you go to like track events and sporting events and you'd be like, these guys are kind of, these guys look kind of like adult, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? So you'd see it a little bit, but your school, you have your friends, you're like, these look like normal people.
Yeah, no.
But then you go to college and you're seeing like 7 foot tall people, like just adults there, like literally 50-year-olds just there in college, in class and stuff.
I felt like that my senior year of college too. Like I feel like I would see people and they're like these grown men and they're like freshmen.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'm like, it's gotta be something like that they're feeding them.
The water that comes,
like chicken.
The Long Island water.
Yo.
That's what they also.
That's another thing about our school had a huge population from Long Island.
And the crazy thing is, I won't even say it was our school. I think it's a SUNY thing. There's so many people that live. You don't know. I didn't even know Long Island was a place before I went to college. I won't lie, because obviously I'm from Albany, from Schenectady, and you kind of don't really think about the places you don't go or don't even see. And I remember I didn't even know. Like I thought Long Island was New York City. Like for like the longest time when I was a kid.
I mean, you could debate, like Brooklyn, Queens, but
Yeah, you know
they'll
what I
get
mean?
mad at you.
But I thought the whole Long Island, like that island, was New York City. Because I was like, how, like, there's so many people. I always heard there's like New York City has so many people. I'm like, I'm just assuming it's this huge island.
Mm-hmm.
But they even have so many people in that city and so many people on that island.
Yeah. Long Island is such a, like, I don't know. If you've ever been to Long Island, it's such a different vibe than like
Anywhere else.
Even where I'm from. Like,
No, yeah.
Long Island is so different.
Everyone's different. Like there's like a stereotypical Long Island person, but you get into the nitty gritty, and every person there is like they're on something, or they got there's just like something different about them. Every Long Island person is a little bit different about them.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Long Island, oh my gosh, yeah. So Oswego is just filled with those people. But I think what I was gonna say is about the other thing we were talking about like the looking thing. I always looked old. People always said I looked older. I always had like facial hair and stuff.
Yeah.
But I know that after like freshman year, I feel like we all kind of like got weathered a little bit. Like our faces and our bodies got weathered. I gained like not mucho weight, but I gained a decent amount of weight my freshman year.
The freshman 15.
Yeah, I had like the freshman 20 before my birthday, so like the first month I probably gained like 20 pounds. But Oswego forced you to have a full meal plan freshman year.
Yeah.
So they're forcing you to eat.
Yeah. Well, what else are you gonna do?
No, literally you can have unlimited swipes, so you can go to dinner, you can go to eat food 8 times a day if you want, technically.
Yeah, true.
And they can't say a word to you, so you just kind of like you just eat, and it's like there's so many options that you just kind of like keep eating food. You're like, oh, I gotta get the pasta, I gotta get the pizza. Remember the cheesy bread?
Yeah, that they would have over like on the side, kind of.
Mm-hmm. There was made to order pizzas out of Oswego in certain dining halls, but the real OGs would not get sauce on them and just make cheesy bread. That's what I would do at least.
Yeah, like the thing about that dining plan, I feel like it was such an important part. Like, it's a scam. At the end of the day, they want you to pay the full dining plan to get that extra revenue.
They're like, you won't feel comfortable. Like some people obviously cooked when they were younger and stuff. Like they could survive.
There was, people like Gus.
Oh yeah.
Who we could talk about forever, but there's
so many faces and people.
Yeah, I know. But like I feel like that dining hall experience for us and like our friend group that we had was very just essential to
It was a spot. It was a spot that we went. It was, you know what I mean? Like some people use like food as that thing. Like some people would go like, oh, there was a circle in the middle of Oswego where people would go. I forget what it's called.
The
quad. Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But like one of our places was literally the dining hall. We would do these big family style dinners.
It would literally be like 10 of us who, if like we maybe take up like 2 tables or whatever.
We would wait for people. Like we'd have to we couldn't go. You couldn't go to dinner unless like it was like a special occasion. Or like we didn't have one plan for that, but we basically had like family dinners every time.
Yeah.
And we knew mad people, so sometimes it'd be like 12 people, sometimes it'd be like only like 8 or 6 because they're doing stuff, but people join us. We had a group, and then they had people.
And it was the thing, like if you got left behind at dinner, you would be mad because like everybody's at dinner, like everyone's like having a good time at dinner, but like it was always an issue, like, oh, like you went to dinner, like
you went to dinner,
you went to dinner without me.
You went there without us?
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, yeah, definitely. And I remember that first week too. We ate together because we were roommates and we didn't really know people. And we actually met people.
Yeah, we sat with a couple of different people.
We met. I remember the one that's sticking in my brain right now is Jared and Alex.
Yeah.
You remember that? Remember it was like the first week. Like that's how we met them.
Yeah.
I think that's how we literally asked these 2 random people.
Because like it was like that first week, and I forget what meal it was. Yeah.
It was packed. The whole picture this. The whole like a dining hall in high school or college, doesn't matter what. Just picture and every spot's taken to where you're just gonna have to sit with some random people at a random table. And
we happened to sit with 2 freshmen who lived in our hall.
We happened to sit with and I don't know if we knew him at the time or seen him. I don't remember.
You know what? We had seen Alex, I think, because the first day, you remember, we played at we had like those freshman games or whatever.
I think that was even before the first day we got, so like Friday.
So the day that we met them, it must have been, I forget, but we had met Alex before. So
yeah, maybe in the basement.
It might have been in the basement.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. We gotta talk about the games. All right, we gotta talk about these summer games, whatever you want to call them. We'll call them the Olympics. We'll call them the freshman Olympics.
Project Play, that's what they called it.
They're the freshman Olympics because, and I'm only calling them that because we won the gold medal. The Scales won freshman sports.
That picture is up of us somewhere since we won.
I'm thinking of what I want to do whenever I put this up on YouTube, and whether streaming source I also do this on. I want to do a split picture of myself on every episode. It's gonna be half me with a bowl cut because I think that's just a hilarious picture, and the second picture is gonna be something from you. And I was gonna say like that could be the picture, or that could just be the full picture because we're both in it.
Oh yeah,
and that could be like the episode. That's the episode picture. It could be this freshman thing, or we could talk about I could think about other things. Because that's such a good picture, and we're so young, and it's like a funny picture.
We're like all so awkward standing there.
Oh my gosh, I think I'm standing like this. I have my neck out, like I just don't know how to stand.
Yeah, no.
But no, yeah, that's gonna be the picture. I already decided. It's too good not to be the picture.
Do you have a picture of the picture?
Yeah, I think I got it on my phone. I won't look right now, but I think I have it saved. But also, do you remember? Oh my gosh, literally we started talking, and we went on so many tangents that there was something in the beginning I want to talk about, which just reminded me of it. But it's great because we'll have that picture to see how much we really got older. Like that, we will see our freshman year self in that picture. And do you remember the picture we took at the lake with our yeah. So that's another great picture, and that shows us really how young we really were.
Yeah, no, because we would never take a picture like that.
I mean, I would, but maybe get a little alcohol in me and whatnot. Maybe you know what I mean. If we're joking around, but it was a serious. I don't know what we were trying to do there. I don't know what the game.
I think we were not expecting to take a picture, and it was kind of like we were trying to look cool or whatever.
Oh, definitely freshman year, us trying to look cool is probably some of the same morals now. But yeah, man, we had our whole squad. I remember the deepest it got probably was probably 12 people, right?
Maybe even more than that, but if you count our main group.
You count Megan and V. I don't know if you count them in our main group or not, but they were
like recurring characters.
Yeah, they were friendly. They were definitely really friendly to us, and we were, you know what I mean, we accepted each other basically.
It was interesting how we met them too, but you don't got to get into that.
No, if I don't know how beautiful this podcast is gonna turn out, but I want to get a lot of people that are friendly with or I'm friends with in my life because they have stories and we have stories. Like everyone's life has experiences that are great to hear on something like this. Yeah. So definitely if we get a Megan or Veronica or maybe a double pod with them, I don't know. Some of them are in school. Veronica's still in school right now.
She's trying to become an optometrist.
Not my life. But yeah, I'm trying to think of I don't want to go through all the names of people we knew because some of them won't be on the podcast.
It's true.
But I'm gonna tell a story that was like this is technically the first topic I wrote down is the story I'm gonna tell right here, and it's the one where I went away. I remember I don't know if I went away that weekend, the first weekend, or it was one of the early weekends. Remember? And I left the money.
Oh
yeah.
Right.
I want to talk about the money story. I left like a couple 20, I don't know if it was enough money. It was enough. It was at least $20.
Mm-hmm. It was a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
Cause I'll say my thing.
Yeah, you could tell it better because you're the one who was there. But
so from my perspective, it was family weekend, and I remember this because I remember you left that money out. Mm-hmm. It was either on your desk. Yeah. And my mom was like, keep your roommate trust you enough to leave his money out on the table like that? Oh, I guess so. I'm not gonna do anything to it or whatever. But I mean, you could tell. It would have been funny, I think, if you told your part first. Mm-hmm. But I remember you came back from your weekend.
Yeah, tell me.
And you were like, well, you go ahead.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to say I did it on purpose because I kind of wasn't thinking about it. Why wouldn't I take money home? home. I think that's just like a dumb thing.
Yeah.
Why would I take money home? But maybe I didn't want to take it, whatever. And I remember like I just kind of left it there, and I was like, whatever, I'll be fine. Like, I knew that if someone had to take it, there's really only one person that could get the money.
Even me.
So there was definitely some trust involved, but like, who would be dumb enough to just take the money on the counter? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I did trust you too. In the grand scheme of things, I did trust. I knew you weren't going to take it. We literally talked about. We had, I think, the conversation about. Oh no, I think it was after, because we talked about morals and things that like we really didn't like, and then I think it was right after this, and you're like, like stealing. I hate stealing.
Yeah.
Remember this? We tied this like moral. Oh my gosh, remember the talks we used to have?
Yo.
But we're gonna put that away. But basically, I come back and I was like, oh, like there's money here, blah blah blah. I don't know, what do you have like what I said? Like I'm blanking right now, or just.
It was kind of like, I don't know. It was very similar to this conversation. You were like, oh, like, I left the money here. Like, I don't know. You were like, oh, it's like a test or whatever. Something like that.
I do remember that. I definitely said it was a test. And maybe at that time I had some ideas like that. But I could have just been bluffing you and just.
See, the way I caught it, like, from my perspective, I'm like, that wasn't a test. This man just forgot his money.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, literally. And I probably did.
You definitely
but
came back. You were like, oh, man, I left all that money out. But I don't know.
But the thing is, like, I did trust you. I think we were friendly by this time.
This was like October, beginning of October.
Because I went home for my birthday. That's why I went home. It was family weekend, and my birthday is the 5th of October. So it was the beginning of October. I think it was like the 3rd. I think it was like the 3rd, and then my birthday was on Monday or something. Like I don't fully remember what it was.
Yeah, it was right around your birthday.
Yeah, and I just literally just left like at least 20. I know it was a 20 in the stack. I think it was a stack, maybe just a couple singles or whatever. Because we might have went out. That was the thing. Like, we might have went out and then, or I left the money, or like, why would I just leave the money? I don't know. Why would I just leave the money out? But yeah, that's a good story. I like that. That's why I wanted to put it on here, because it's a good story.
Yeah.
I think it shows our relationship, because I literally was like, oh, it's a test in it, and I was like, and then you're like, no, it's not a test, boy. You're just stupid. You're just being a dummy.
I mean, I don't know. See, I kind of knew you by that point, but I mean, I'm like. You can be forgetful sometimes.
I know,
which
yeah.
is me, like, now maybe I'm looking back with, like, nostalgia glasses, or, like, you know.
Hindsight, whatever it is.
Hindsight, right. And I'm like, oh, I know Chris forgets stuff sometimes. So I'm like, he probably left, but I'm like, I don't know.
And the worst part is I can't remember, like, it's been so long now. I used to tell that story a lot, and the thing is, like, as time goes by, if you don't tell a story, you kind of lose you lose bits and pieces of it if it's not that big of an importance. Nothing happened. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, the story is about us doing nothing. I left money and he didn't take it.
Nothing happened. Yeah.
But it's the context behind it is what makes it such a good story, because like he literally could have just gypped 20 and maybe I wouldn't have even remembered I left it there. You could have just had my money. Who knows? Like, technically. I don't think that would have happened, but
this did happen to one of our good friends from college.
Oh my gosh.
We won't say any names because, you know.
I'm sorry, I just looked at my phone. Boost Mobile texted me. Like, how likely would you recommend Boost to a friend? I'm not gonna deface any company on my podcast.
I feel like do they even advertise on like TV anymore? I feel like I used to see their commercials.
Well, you got to remember, T-Mobile bought Sprint. In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
So then technically T-Mobile, I guess, owns Boost too, because Sprint and Boost were together.
Oh. Okay.
So like T-Mobile's probably like, get that trash out of here. No roast to Boost Mobile, but 100% roast to Boost Mobile.
Hopefully your podcast doesn't. You can't deface any advertisers.
I'm not gonna lose my sponsorship to Boost.
I mean. Hey, you never know how big this thing could get.
No, I know. That's why I didn't want to say too much bad things about them. In the grand scheme of things, they do their job.
Mm-hmm. You know, if anything, you know, whoever picks you up, they'll just drop this episode. Mm-hmm. They'll be like, all right, you know, we just won't play this.
Hey, I might be a free agent. Who knows? But no, Boost gets the job done. You just kind of lose service on the highway, which sucks.
Yeah,
because I feel like that's an important part to have service.
I have Verizon, and I feel like I lose service all the time. But I don't know. My girlfriend's always like, "Can I use your phone? Like, you have
the best."
You have the best." I'm like, "You always have." She is T-Mobile, and I'm like, "You always have service." When I don't know. What
they trick you is that, like, whether you can call people or not, you might be able to call someone with Boost or whatever, all these companies. But I think Verizon's got the best internet. So like if you go on like Google and stuff like that's just solid for Verizon. I think that's always what I assumed, because Boost is. I was trying to rhyme with something, just not my favorite. Just not my favorite. But okay, so this is awesome. So I'm gonna jump away from the college talk because we'll probably come.
There's a lot of stories.
I know I don't want to do 50 minutes of college in a row because I want to get some other topics in there involved. So I do have a great topic that I do want to talk to you about because I think it's awesome. I think it's a funny. It's like a weird concept that just is between us, and it's about. All right, so I trust our music opinions, right? I trust your music opinion. I believe we're different, but you know that we know what each other like, and basically we know what we like and what's good and what's bad. I trust when you say something's bad, I'll listen to it, but I was like, and if it's you same way, but oh my gosh, but I just love how we have so much love for I have so much love for Lil Uzi Vert, and you have so much love for Play Guy Carter, my boy, and now that I say this, now Playboy Carti is blowing up again. Do you see these live performances he's doing at Lollapalooza and all these things?
So here's my thing.
Yeah, so you go in this and I'll tell you the reason I brought those two up.
So I'll give you a disclaimer. I can say definitively that you definitely at this very moment are more into Lil Uzi than I am into Playboy Carti.
Yep.
Just because I don't know, it's been hard to keep up with rap so much this past year, but
you let me down.
All right, you go ahead.
Well, say what you're saying, because I'm gonna say what I said about that. Oh, do you want me to say it?
Okay. I mean, this is a little aside for me.
Okay.
Just in terms of listening to music and rap and hip hop, I feel every year so much more music comes out, and it's just so hard to keep up with. And there's so many good people talk about rap and it's going down the drain and this and that and mumble rap. I don't know. I don't know. We're biased, but I feel there's so much music, and because of just the volume of music that is out, there's so much more good music. And for me, I'm probably 2019, 2018. I listened to probably most of the big new albums that came out. 2020, I listened to very few. Yeah. I'm catching up with 2020 now.
But the albums that come out now are the albums. You gotta think these are the COVID albums. This is this is you were stuck and you have to either think of some good ideas or you gotta wait until stuff happens again, because music is music's subjective. You can make it any way you want. But a lot of times these rappers or any artist is talking about real life stuff that's happening in person, and no one wants to hear COVID bars. Everyone's got their pandemic.
There's gonna be COVID bars for the next
5 years,
2 decades, probably. Before anyone even wants to hear it.
Yeah, Lil Tecca's gonna be 40 years old, the next Jay-Z, and he's gonna be dropping 2020 vision.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I don't know. There was 9/11 bars after 9/11 stuff, but no, if you're dropping a 9/11 bar within 4 or 5 years of 9/11, what are you doing?
I mean, I think there's a time and place, and I feel I don't want to say there's no way to drop a good 9/11 bar, because obviously it's a very tragedy, but people drop Holocaust bars, all these horrible things. If there's a way, if you can wordplay it in a way where it's not disrespectful,
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
With any track, it just needs whatever art form you're trying to convey. It just needs time. If you're trying to make a joke, you're a comedian. Yeah.
I think it's intention. It's what are you looking for? That's my big thing.
Yeah.
So if you're a comedian and you're known for bad jokes, any of them, I don't know, Bill Burr does kind of some bad ones, but I know his intentions. He's just a comedian. But Dalia, you know what I mean? There's some, I can't think of any really comedians like that where I can say.
Well, I would say Louis C.K. He has joked about some of the things that he's actually done.
Yeah.
And it's kind of or even there's so many photographs now of 9/11. It's here's the aftermath. Here's people covered in ash from the buildings and stuff. And it's now you look at them and you're whoa. If someone had released those photos a few days, or you look at them and you're not gonna feel the same way as looking at it today.
No, yeah.
And I feel the same way about how you said COVID bars and right now it's just not there. There will be a time for it, but now is not the time.
No, yeah. you could say I don't know, man. There's so many ways to do it, and it's like everyone is probably gonna do it or is thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And a great example too is the Meek Mill bar about Kobe. He was like,
exactly.
There's this line of like you want to be the first one to like I got this great bar. Like I got to be the first one to make a comment about it.
Yeah.
But it was like that was kind of the line was disrespectful. Yeah. It was disrespectful to Kobe Bryant and the whole Bryant family.
And all his antics, I would say, like Meek's antics surrounding him like dropping the bar and everything were also like
it was leaked on his. It was leaked on his story.
That one bar was leaked. Okay, and his back and forth with Vanessa Bryant on Twitter and all that stuff. It's kind of like. There's absolutely a time. It's, hip hop and basketball are like synonymous to each other.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and there always will be since Shaq dropped his album, since Kobe Bryant dropped an album.
Yeah, every baller has tried to rap, and every rapper has tried to play ball.
The stigma, the stereotype that they talk about in rap and in interviews from people who make it out the hood is like literally you have to do two things. You have to either make music or you have to play ball.
Yeah, the mindset is very similar. It's like E or be eaten, like crabs in the bucket mentality. Like basketball and hip hop have the same culture about them.
Every rapper has one bar in their discography about playing basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I think of the Kendrick one. I think it was on Black Boy Fly, the song. I just love that song, man. It's not the worst part is that's such a great song, and it was only on the deluxe version of Good Kid, Mad City. And as the person who bought the Good Kid, Mad City deluxe version, I got to listen to it, and I try to show everybody because it's a great song. He talks about the game. He talks about Aaron Aflalo, who is an NBA player, like people he grew up with and looked up to.
Oh yeah, especially every West Coast rapper, they're gonna they're gonna talk about basketball.
No doubt. And some of them probably should have been. I mean, J. Cole's a baller. J. Cole is a baller. Like he literally balled in Africa.
Well, he's done now, right? He's not.
I don't. They gave him a 10-day, and then I think he played like 2. It might have been more for like I don't know, like publicity and whatnot.
Before we get back to our original point, I just want to ask you how you felt about that. Did you see him play at all?
He played all right.
All right.
I mean, the thing is, like these people he's playing with dedicate their life to this, and he would never ask them to be on a song with him. You know what I mean? Right. And J. Cole's always been known as like a decent baller. Like he was recruited. I don't think he might have went to college for it and then dropped out. Or I don't
know. I'm not sure.
But he definitely was a baller in high school. Yeah. I know that for a fact. And I definitely think he got offers to colleges. Whether they were D1, D2, whatever it is, he definitely got offers. And I think he chose not to go. And then he like was at he was at the celebrity game. He killed it. Yeah. He's the best celebrity.
So he's definitely, he's better. I would say he's like better than like an average.
Oh, 100%. He's tall, man. He's already, if you're 6 foot, you're better than the average person at basketball. Oh, yeah, most likely.
So, I mean, the whole thing with that is, I think his whole goal with that was not to, be a good basketball player, but he was trying to bring some attention to that league and like,
which is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very important.
People were very critical of like why is J. Cole, I feel like people had the same mindset, like, with the celebrity boxing matches that are going on and stuff now. Like, I feel like people were like, oh, like, he was doing that sort of thing for attention, but I don't think it's anything like that.
And it's definitely like I think they probably loved it. You know what I mean? Who I would, you'd probably love to be. I don't know if they knew J. Cole. Like maybe they did. Maybe he knew some people on the team and like whatever. Like he had to pick. He had to pick a team for a reason. Like he probably didn't just close his eyes and just he say, oh, this team. But I think it's important. It's nice to see because we're watching the Olympics, right? And we're hearing, and maybe it's because the United States doesn't care, but the United States ain't doing as well as they usually do. Maybe I haven't checked probably in a couple days, so maybe they've been smoking it. But especially like the basketball team themselves, the basketball team lost to Nigeria in the non-count games. Who cares? It doesn't matter. They don't count. But then they lost to France. Yeah. And France does have. I think France has their first 5 people are starting in the NBA. Like they're both 5 starters are all in the NBA, and I think they have like people on the bench that are in the NBA or in like other leagues, and it's like there's gonna have to come to a point where the rest of the world's gonna catch up to us in basketball. Yeah, absolutely. Because baseball happened quick. Baseball was America's pastime. Boy, you look at the demographic of that league now. Now,
you know me, I'm not like super into basketball or anything, but I can speak from like a track perspective. Yeah. And in terms of like, I was basically reading a study and like the gist of it was saying like over the next probably like decade or so, we're gonna see women like starting to like destroy those records and stuff like that in track and like
really
things like that.
I said
like,
dunk.
I
Women
mean,
can dunk, but you think it's gonna be a very huge like? Who says this? You said it was a study, or
yeah, you know,
you don't have to quote it, but
I'm just so you know, everybody reads studies and everyone.
No,
does
yeah, I read
but,
articles
like,
and I say.
But we're seeing it also though, like Kellyanne Price, she just broke that Olympic record that stood for 3 decades.
Yeah, 33 years, I think, because the Olympics are weird now.
Yeah. Just another aside. This is gonna bother me about the Olympics that it's now on like a odd number because we're.
No, it's 2024.
Wait, they're doing.
So this is technically the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah, because that's all the branding and marketing. But so they're doing the
2024. I think they're just gonna fix it back up.
Okay,
I think so. I think I haven't looked too much into it, but I think since they're calling it the 2020 Olympics, I think they're just gonna like be like, whatever.
Because the 2025 Olympics, that would bother me.
No, yeah, I wouldn't. 29. Could you imagine 29?
29 Olympics.
And then it'd be 3, and like it'd just be the numbers would be so weird. 3, 7, 1.
It makes sense though, because they like. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we already have like the next Summer Olympic. Yeah, we do have the next. Where they do it, you know, they meet every couple of years.
Yeah, because I think they were talking about 2028. I think or whatever it was, like where they want to do that, and if they want to do it in America or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they have to plan like it takes a dent on your economic. Well, for some of these countries, it takes a dent on your financial, like your government's money.
Yeah.
Like maybe not the United States.
It puts a lot of money into like the local economy. Like
Very
the
true.
cities that host the Olympics, they get so much money, which is why the Tokyo Olympics is going on now. Apparently, a lot of the Japanese population, they were like, no, like don't have the Olympics because you know COVID and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, you want your city to have Olympics.
Lake Placid had one, I think 1984 that winter. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's like it's cool. Atlanta had it like recently.
Yeah, Atlanta, that was
2000.
Was it 2000? I feel like it was earlier. We've talked about this before. I'm having deja vu.
Yeah.
But, it was, if not, it was 2000 Greece?
Greece was 04.
04, you're
And
right.
I only know that because the basketball team, the United States, that's the last time they didn't win the gold medal.
Sydney was 04. Let's look it up. Let's not just.
Yeah, no. All right. Oh my gosh.
Please hold.
Typing right now. Sorry, people with no videos, as in everybody. So the first Olympics ever, in case you were wondering, were in Athens, Greece in 1896. But let's go to the ones we care about. New Jersey, Norway was 94. No.
We're looking for summer.
Oh, it's on my left side. I can't even read. Sydney was 2000. Greece was Greece.
Okay.
So we were. I was wrong because I said Georgia was or Atlanta was 2000. It was the year before. So 96 was Atlanta, 2000 was Sydney, 04 was Greece, and then you remember the rest. Rio,
London, Beijing.
Beijing, and now Japan. Now Japan this year. No fans. I wonder if it's hard.
See, that's been a big thing. Like, interviewers asking after.
Yeah,
like, how's it competing without any spectators? And some of them are like, it doesn't change. Like, I still got to go out there and do my job. But a lot of them are like, not having pressure like that. The pressure from like the fans is a lot better.
Yeah, I can definitely. I feel like it won. I don't know. I feel like it won. Like basketball, I feel like it would affect you because I feel like there's certain venues where the fans like really change the atmosphere, and I feel like mostly it's sporting events like soccer, football, soccer, basketball,
MMA,
even MMA, but. Yeah, even MMA, especially when you go out of the United States, that's when it's huge. The events that are out of the country that are in like Brazil or like even England barely has any, but any of these out of the country, like those are the hugest events.
English sporting fans in general are like,
yeah, we don't want to talk about those. Definitely makes me really sad.
I like how we got here from Playboy Cardi versus Lil Uzi.
I mean, we can go back to that topic. I don't know what I was going to say about the Olympics. I think I was going to have one more thing, but I honestly forgot. I honestly lost my train of thought on it. Actually, I'll say one little thing. You know the 800 meter swimmer from the United States, Katie. She has the 20. I think it's 23 in a row records for the 800 meter freestyle.
Really?
She has
So
one.
she just
one
keeps
through
breaking
20.
it.
Yeah, she's like the most dominant, at least 800 meter freestyle swimmer. Probably of all time.
I mean, I have to imagine.
Yeah, and she's been winning. I think she's been winning since like 08 or 12. Like she was young. She was like 16 on the team when she went on, and she like killed it. And now she's like older. Now she's an adult, just also still just great at swimming.
See, swimming is like Michael Phelps I think he went to the Olympics when he was like 15, maybe. Swimming is one of those sports where like stars are like young.
He started swimming when he was 12.
12?
Yeah, he started swimming at 12 years old, I think.
Jeez.
It's because his body.
That would be late for like a lot of sports, to become
but
elite.
you see how Michael Phelps was built to be the greatest swimmer all the time. The same way as Usain Bolt, how he knows how to use his body, he's built to be this great person, like this great runner, whether it's 800 meter or even like he could probably done marathons if he trained his body like that. Who knows? That's how like usually I feel like a lot of marathon runners are built, like skinny.
I mean, they're typically marathon runners are typically on like the shorter side.
Oh, really?
But,
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know much about.
I would say Usain Bolt's body is definitely more built as like he'd definitely be a better like 400 or typically like a 400 runner around there. Like he's built like a lot of those.
Because he's long. He's just so long. And I was watching some pre-fight stuff about the Corey Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw stuff, and I was watching like the interview before, like the presser before, and when it was just Corey, and he said something like, "Do you think you're a better athlete than TJ Dillashaw?" Which I think is a weird question to ask someone. Like, I don't know what he's looking for, like to be rude to him, like whatever. But he said like, "No, I think I am tall and lengthy, and I know how to use my body well, and he's a shorter whatever, but he knows how to use his body really well too. So I think we are both great athletes, and I think that's a great thing to think about. It's like you could be anything. You see people who are 7 foot tall and just can't walk, like just are just very not good with their body. They're not built to be 7 foot, it seems like. But it doesn't matter what you are, if you know how to use your body fully, if you're fully intact with your brain, arms, legs, whatever, you are an animal. And it's hard to fully ever get that. And someone like Michael Phelps probably doesn't even think about swimming.
Yeah, no, absolutely
when he's swimming, he doesn't even think about the movements. He's probably just faster. Like go.
You could, I mean, if you know better about physiology and anatomy than me, you could probably disprove this. But you could probably, if you made Michael Phelps stop swimming right now and then threw him in a pool in like 20, 30 years, within like minutes, he could probably be like
back in prime, not prime, but like very good.
Yeah,
that's one of those things, and especially him who trained all those years. But even Michael Phelps dealt with some. I mean, you hear about these things, and even like Simone. So I guess we'll talk about this. As much as I like my topics, this is just a great conversation. Yeah. And we'll get into the Olympics, and we'll get into Simone Biles. Because right around the time we record this is right around when Simone Biles has stepped down, not fully left the Olympics, but stepped down from a couple events now. I think it's 2 or 3. She stepped down from.
I just read like earlier today that she will be whatever it is, the thing with the you know what I'm talking about. She's gonna be doing that one, so she's not out of every event.
Yeah, and the only reason I know that because I watched a YouTube video with Mr. Sun and Mr. Bad Guy Incorporated. If you want to give me a shout out, Chael. No, I'm just kidding. But he was talking about how she's still practicing every day and everything. She just sat out these 2 events, and someone else who's dealt with, very few people have dealt with Simone Biles ever has dealt with, but one person who probably has is Michael Phelps. Yeah. Who had these these anxieties, and he's on the stupid commercials now, but this is real life. Obviously he's doing it, but he really had depression issues and stuff, and people were like, how can you be like this when you're the greatest swimmer all the time? And I hope that maybe Mr. Phelps, who like reached out out to her, or at least thinking about her, and it's like, and because that's like there's like a handful of people, like maybe LeBron, like maybe Usain Bolt, like there's like very few people that know the pressures that Simone Biles has.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is she probably puts more pressures on herself than anybody else puts pressures on her.
Oh, absolutely. So just breaking it down, she's for one a professional athlete performing on a large stage,
which 99.9% of people aren't professional athletes.
Absolutely. And not only is she a professional athlete, she's an Olympian.
Again 99.99999% of people aren't Olympians.
Exactly. And not only is she an Olympian, she's one of the greatest Olympians of all time in her sport, and
all time of women,
and a lot of eyes on her. It's a lot of pressure. It's a pressure that
no one knows.
Professional athletes probably don't even know. Like,
no, yeah. I mean, like, you could be a backup on a championship team and maybe feel the pressure, but like maybe not. I remember when the Bucks won the chip, there was one player. He used to be on the Hawks, Jeff Teague, my boy Jeff Teague. And I only say he used to be on the Hawks because the coach of the Bucks used to be the Hawks coach. So it seems like he probably brought like someone he knew from his team back who he liked. And he was like a backup, but he played in the finals. I watched him play. He had like minutes and points and stuff. It wasn't like he just didn't play at all. But then he like they win it, and then he's like walking. It's like a meme now or like a video, and he's like, "I got an A on the group project," which I think is a hilarious comment. He said, "You," and then he said, "You like that?" Which I think is hilarious because he knew, like, you know, maybe I didn't do the most for this team, but like I was there and I was on the team. Like we won the chip. You can't be mad.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like he maybe not felt the pressure as say Giannis or Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday, but it's, you know, and they probably didn't even feel the pressure of Simone Biles. No matter if you're winning an NBA championship or not.
Now, this makes me think of a conversation I had the other day. It's, you know, it's... Oh, okay.
I just didn't like I was like drooping on it.
Now, I don't want to take us too far away, but my girlfriend was talking about sports, and we were just saying, like, if you think about any sport, like, or just sports in general, like what is a sport? Like, sports in a grand scheme of like things, like sports are like they're nothing, you know, like they're, well, what did you say?
Well, I said they're literally just made up.
Yeah, they're made up. But I'm like, so I'm talking to her, I'm like, she was leaning more on that side, like sports are like useless sort of thing. But I'm like,
I'm not saying they're useless, but I get what you're saying.
But yeah, they're not. So if you think about what a sport is, like, and why we enjoy, like, as humans watching sports, we get to see people's leadership ability. We get to see, when in terms of professional sports, we get to see people's, like, at the peak of their athletic ability. Like, there's something like innate in humans that makes us like to do and like watch sports. It's because we're, you know,
we like seeing stuff, man. We like watching things, and it's something as, and this is gonna be a huge thing I'm gonna try to build together. I'm gonna make up something right now, but I'm gonna put that to the side for just a second. And you think of like even like the first battle, Lexington and Concord. I think one of the first battles of the Revolutionary War. The American people came out to watch the battle. Watch people get murdered. Could you imagine that nowadays? No. Could you imagine that any day? Like, just literally sat in lawn chairs, like picnic, and then once they watched, they're like, "This is horrible. Like, why did we even come to like watch that?"
Yeah.
And that makes me think that what are people really doing for fun anytime before 1900? I don't know. And I think they couldn't think in sports. Some sports are so like old, like some are much older than other ones. But like a lot of like baseball's a newisher sport, obviously.
I'm sure if you go back somewhere
they're
like, down the line, there's some iteration of like
baseball's like 1800, like late 1800s, I think it began. But like you don't even care about, like, they don't even keep those stats. Basketball, there was like before the NBA, there was leagues, there was NBA, and then there was like ABA, and they're like they're like 1900s, like a little bit past 1900s. Soccer, I think, is one of the old. I think it's the oldest sport.
Yeah, I think I'm not picking.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even give a year or nothing. I have no idea. And I think hockey's an old sport too. But a lot of these sports, you know, they come around in the 1900s or late 1800s when like wars are kind of starting to kind of stop. Obviously, there's things happening in other places, but people are like, what are we gonna do? Like, we need to find something to take up our time, and we don't want to just watch people get killed or go get killed.
And you made the point about people watching, you know, battles and happen and basically until war got like super destructive on like massive scale.
Yeah, like
which
massive.
started happening in like the late 1800s, like 1900s. People were going, like you said, we're going out to watch those battles, and like, because as humans, we like violence as one. We
like commotion. Humans like commotion. Humans like bad things. And there's a line to what people like as a bad thing, but everyone like, it's the example like when you see a car crash, you can't look away. But like some people are like, but like some people like just watch it.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, I would watch gruesome sports injuries, and I just watch them.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I guess I found it entertaining. I can't tell you right now why I thought they were entertaining, but it's just like, I don't know. It maybe makes you feel human. Maybe it makes you feel like, oh, this is. I don't know.
I think in a way, like, this is the point I was trying to kind of make. Like, just watching sports, like, it's just like sports are just like a human thing. It's like a combination of like some of like the best human traits, like athleticism, like coordination,
leadership, like you said,
like
working as a team. That's coordination. Well, coordination with your body and coordination with a team.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like war. Like they say it's a war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Technically people will say they put their lives on the line. I just don't want to burp into the mic. But like it's more talked about in like MMA and UFC, but I'll put my life for the sport. But people say it all the time. Athletes, doesn't matter what your athlete is, they'll say it. Like, I'll put my life for this because you know what I mean? This is what I do. This is my life. And you see how you see how like we'll go with a majority of athletes after retirement can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like they go bankrupt.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not majority, but a lot. Like a lot to where we talk about it.
Yeah.
And we've seen it so many times. Even Allen Iverson was like technically broke, but like I think when he turns 50, Reebok gives him like $1 million or something.
Yeah, see, you know, it's something you see a lot with going back to rappers, athletes and stuff. You know, you can't bank on just making money from that one avenue because, you know, you're not going to be a chart-topping artist for forever.
Unless very few. You know, you can't play basketball great forever unless you're LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. You can't make music forever unless you're Jay-Z, Kanye, other artists.
Let's look at Jay-Z. If Jay-Z had... This might be a hot take, but if Jay-Z had only done music from his, you know, the beginning of his career to
The Blueprint, is The Blueprint the first album?
No, I'm not even going to tell you Jay-Z's first album.
It was in the 90s, man.
It was...
We weren't even think about being born yet.
But if Jay-Z hadn't become, like, you know, the mogul. Yeah, the mogul. He became larger than rap.
Yeah.
No one would listen to his music now. You know what I mean? Like, alright, so Jay-Z's rapping ability.
Yeah, rephrase what you're saying.
So look, he's a great rapper.
Yes.
Like, he's one.
They're arguably one of the best rappers.
One of the best rappers, absolutely. But let's look at some of the other great rappers from his time. Nas
Common.
still has amazing rapping ability. I love
and he still has a cult following. Nas still has this cult following that people listen to, but he's not nearly as popular as he was in the early 2000s.
Exactly,
maybe late 2000s.
And Jay-Z is a bigger name than Nas. Just in rap and out. Okay, we'll say outside of rap, but
because of Beyonce, you gotta add. So, you know what I mean. So Jay-Z, because Jay-Z's bigger than rap.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nas is not bigger than rap. Nas is rap.
Yeah. Well, okay. So you could argue he's a little bit outside of rap just because, you know, his music was some of the first to, you know, chart like top charts and stuff like that, and not be like pop rap, you know, but like. Yes, Jay-Z is more outside of rap than Nas.
What I'll say is, like, when you know Nas, people only, I would say like 99% of people only know Nas because of rap. But Jay-Z, I feel like it's a much it's a much broader, like, people who like Beyonce, like, oh, I know Jay-Z. People who do whatever, because Jay-Z is like, it's so funny we talk about Jay-Z and Nas when they had the whole beef, like the ether. Like, these are the two people who choose.
Exactly.
I mean, because of Jay-Z, Nas created the greatest diss track of all time.
Yeah, well, you know, some people will argue because I don't know. I think it's a great. I wouldn't say one of the greatest diss tracks.
You don't like Ether?
I do like Ether. I definitely like Ether, but I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. But this is not a hip hop podcast, so I won't debate you on it. But
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask you what do you think would be up there, but I don't even.
So it's definitely recency bias and just my age obviously showing. I think
That Pusha T one. I think that Pusha T against Drake one is actually up there too.
Pusha T and Drake is definitely one of the best rap beefs, and I'll say in our generation.
Well, yeah,
Rap beef has changed a lot,
because no one's really getting killed.
Exactly.
Well, people are getting killed, but not because of rap beef, which is really sad. People are just getting killed in general. Rest in peace, all the rappers, especially Juice WRLD and a lot of other rappers, Mac Miller and whatnot, Lil Peep, and I can keep going, but X, and we'll say X, but
it's a whole different.
Yeah, it's a whole different conversation. But so a lot of the times it's not rap beef that gets people killed. Pop Smoke too. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Oh my gosh. But it's like it's other things.
Yeah, a lot of wrong place, wrong time.
And there's been I don't know if there's been fake beefs in rap, but the internet was full of fake beefs 5 years ago. Like YouTube,
there's definitely been fake beefs in rap.
Yeah, and there's been like friendly. I don't even call them beefs. I call them friendly competitions where people would make diss tracks on each other, but there was no hate. Like I think Logic and Joyner Lucas were making those diss tracks against each other. You probably don't even remember.
This was like 4 years ago, probably. I remember.
And yeah, so I was like, what are they doing that for? But that was right when I think all the stuff on YouTube, all the rap diss tracks were blowing up. Because remember the whole rap diss track takeover of YouTube where it was Rice Gum. Rice Gum made the rap.
I do remember.
Yeah, and then everyone started doing it. Remember, I don't want to say he was the first one, but he was the first one to blow up.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, and he didn't even. It wasn't even it was just diss tracks against random people. He just did them because whatever. I don't know, because he did them because he hated TikTok kids and Musical.ly kids and whatnot. It was Musical.ly at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so interesting how internet has changed culture so much. Because like you just mentioned, a Rice Gum, he's a YouTuber. And I'm using air quotes, a rapper.
Yeah, artist.
Jake Paul is a YouTuber and he artist, or not artist, but he's an artist now. He used to be an actor. The internet, and now he's a boxer. The internet, I feel like is open.
You wanna know what's crazy? So Logan Paul was in one episode of Bizarre, and it happened to be the same episode that also Olivia Rodrigo was in.
Bush, I don't know what that show is. Is that
was Jake Paul's show? So so Logan Paul I think was on one episode or whatever, but it happened to be the same exact episode that Olivia Rodrigo, who made all those songs, and he said she was gonna be famous. He said that once he met her, he knew how she talked and how she interacted, that she was very intelligent, was going to be famous. But what are the chances the one episode has these two people, because there's so many episodes that have random people that don't blow up. So how is it the one episode that they bring in, maybe it was a special episode, I don't watch it. That's way kids show. I've never even seen anything about that. That's Disney Channel. Yeah, that was right when he's Disney Channel
yeah, that was after our era of Disney Channel shows that we used to watch,
because they're our age. The Logan, Jake's probably close our age, and I think Logan's older by a couple of years.
24 or something like that.
But they're our age, so of course we wouldn't watch the shows they're on when they're kids.
Yeah, true.
But then so it's just crazy how Olivia Rodrigo's on an episode of Aardvark and then became homie.
A lot of these people run in the same circles and maybe they're within a couple degrees of separation from each other, just people they know and stuff.
I'll get the Uzi Cardi topic out that I was gonna say, because I just think it's a funny thing. But I trust our opinions on music, and I trust that we both have good opinions. I trust myself, I trust you. But then we these two people who are just not these lyrical rappers or these great rappers. And I think it's more of an aesthetic thing, a vibe thing.
What I'll give to Uzi is I'll say he's more lyrical than Cardi.
Yeah. But Cardi is now becoming that dude. Cardi's whole image. They've been waiting for a whole lot of Red to drop for 18 years, and everyone's oh, he sucks. He's not canceled, but basically he's whatever. He's not gonna blow up again. Yeah. And then he goes to maybe it was Rolling Loud, maybe it was Lollapalooza. I don't know. He goes to one of these festivals, one of these concerts, and everyone's saying he's that dude. He's the best. He's the best person to see in concert now. They're saying that's what I've been hearing, Travis Scott-esque concert performances.
So for a while, Cardi, people they didn't like his performances. He would be late all the time, which is kind of par for the course for rappers. But
Sometimes,
for a lot of rappers,
we ourselves experienced that with A$AP Ferg at college,
Yeah,
but
that's
I don't
true.
blame A$AP Ferg.
I mean, he gave an amazing performance.
Oh yeah,
you
so
know,
that's why I don't blame A$AP Ferg.
yeah, and shout out to her also.
Her got so much disrespect last week ago, and I don't know
so
if
talented.
her. So I'm gonna tell this story because this is a very important story that needs to get out into the world. If one person hears this that I don't know, I would be happy because her deserves all the respect and credit that she doesn't get. This was before she was a Grammy Award-winning artist. This was before she blew up. It was like right before, probably like a month, like a couple months. Oswego does this thing where they get these people right before they blow up. I don't know how they did it.
Big Sean,
They pulled Big Sean,
Mac Miller, like a lot.
Yeah,
of these huge
Oswego has this thing, and we were supposed to get Roddy Ricch.
Yeah.
COVID year, and then COVID happened, and the death of Pop Smoke, which is a whole nother story. But this is a more important story. And her goes out is this right before A$AP Ferg, so he was late. I can't tell you how late he was. Do you remember? Like an hour?
It had to be at least an hour.
So we're gonna say he was an hour late just to make it easy. And she performed the whole hour waiting for him to come. All her songs had to be all her songs. She was playing. They're playing the harmonica on the stage, playing guitar. She was playing so many instruments. You want to go?
I just want to say, when she came out, before she came out, there was all these instruments on stage. I'm like, okay, like she's gonna have a band. She came with 2 backup singers. Neither of them played any of those instruments. There was drums. There was
the harmonica,
harmonica, the electric guitar.
Yep.
She played all of them.
And then there might have even been more because I don't even remember that because I don't know, I was probably like yelling or something. Like I wasn't as intuitive as you were like that. But what I was paying attention to is her giving her heart and soul to Oswego, literally wearing an Oswego sweatshirt on stage, like literally trying her hardest to like these people. And people were cheering for her, and they weren't booing her in the beginning. Like people were cheering for her for a good amount of not long enough. They should have been cheering for her
at least
for
like 3 songs. Like people
they cheered, but they assumed that A$AP Ferg was coming on soon, so they probably were just cheering because they were happy. But she's on stage for an hour performing all these beautiful sets and all these beautiful songs. Literally in the middle, probably the middle near the end, she starts getting booed, and she doesn't stop. She doesn't get off stage. She literally just plays it out until A$AP Ferg gets there. Through the boos of all the Oswego kids, and I'm so disappointed in Oswego for having that be an image in her head.
Yeah,
because that's not the right image.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
She even started a chant. She was like, A$AP.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. She was such a great
performer, and she didn't say a word to the people, which she could have. She had the right to, because she gave her heart for that concert, and she played for so long. That was the longest person I've ever seen probably play live. Was her.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think I was gonna be blessed like that. Yeah. And they were great songs. I remember yelling. I was like, why are we I was trying to get. I was like, stop booing.
I know that. Yeah.
It made me mad because she doesn't deserve that, and she was good. And the worst part was she was good. Like she wasn't even bad.
Bad at all.
She was really amazing for doing that. So if anyone hears this, that's not one of my friends or family. Like, give your respect to her, Grammy Award-winning artist who now doesn't even probably care about Oswego. Probably doesn't even remember that.
Probably won't perform at another college again.
No, or definitely not Oswego. I hope she deserves much more respect than Oswego gave her that day.
Yeah.
But A$AP Ferg got a great performance too. I had so much fun.
He blew it out the water.
Oh my gosh, great. It was worth the wait.
Yeah,
and it should have been accepted like that. But people get mad, and at these concerts, this is like a special thing that Oswego does. I think most colleges do it at the end of the year. Yeah. They call it Ozfest, and you go drunk there. Obviously, you drink before you go, like some people did. So maybe people were drunk, but there's no excuse for how they acted. Honestly,
yeah, I agree.
But I had to get that out. I don't know. I had that in me for a long time, and I didn't know when I needed to get it out. But
maybe her will hear it.
I hope if there's any way, I hope her hears it because it just sucks, man. It just sucks for her.
Yeah.
No pun intended. All right. Well, honestly, it's getting kind of near where we're probably gonna chop it up soon. It's done 58 minutes, homie. I don't know if you know. It's 58 minutes straight of just talking. It flies. And the same thing with Zach Hess. Literally, he didn't know, and I didn't tell him like the time, but I told him like, all right, we got to speed this up.
Yeah, nah.
But we've been chopping this up. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So we're gonna wrap up, or are we gonna? Do you want to hit another topic? Or?
So I'll do one last thing. I don't want it to be too long. I told you my thing. About how long people I think will listen to me. So, but there's one thing, and I put it at the end. I'll show you. You can read the things. I'm gonna talk about the fifth one.
All right.
But see how there's a fourth. I try to put them in order of ways I want to go. We didn't even. I think we did great. But the fifth one is what we have to talk about. This fifth topic is the reason we became friends. This was make or break. Either I'm gonna be friends with Ryan, or he's gonna think I'm such a weirdo, and it's gonna be game over.
This is a good topic.
Yeah. So I was in. So this is freshman year. C-niice, Chris, whatever you want to call me. I am a hairy human being. If you don't know me, I'm hairy. If you do know me, sorry for putting DNA over your house. I always say it, I couldn't commit a murder because they would find me instantly. Yeah. One of my arm hairs, one of my head hairs, like I'm gone. Like there's no way to get out.
Did Bigfoot commit this crime?
No, literally, not. That's funny. But this is so freshman year me. I didn't have my chest hair didn't connect to like all my body. So basically, my body grew hair in a circle around my nipple. I don't know if you guys can think of that. It's it's as embarrassing as it sounds. Like I would shave it before going swimming. Like this was things I had to deal with. And just so happened that me and Ryan knew each other's schedules in freshman year. Like you kind of learn it, so you know when people in the room. Just so like you know like when to be expecting someone. You know what I mean? But I remember I was like, oh, he's in class or whatever. I was like, he's in class, so I'm gonna shave my chest. I'm gonna shave around the nipple, so it doesn't look like I have 18, like 4-inch hairs just coming out of my nipples. It just looked like that. It just looked weird. So as I'm doing it, I choose my room and I choose over the garbage. Why? I couldn't tell you. I to this day I probably should have just done it in the bathroom, but this one had never happened. And we were friendly at the time, but we weren't friends. We were acquaintances, I'll call us. We respected each other, but it was like that. It was basically that. We were roommates and that's it.
Yeah.
And I literally am mid-shaving my nipple, and this man opens the door. We just look at each other. I remember we just look at each other, and we just laugh. We just laughed.
Yeah.
We didn't say a word. We just laughed. In the beginning, you just start like, because it was like such an awkward, like weird thing. And it was either we both laugh, or Ryan thinks I'm like a weirdo and just leaves the room. Or we just laughed together, and I'm like, I'm sorry, like I don't mean to do, and you're like, oh, it's fine, whatever. And that's when we became friends. It was that instance. We had to either become friends or hate each other.
See, so from my perspective, all right, here's my thing. Me and my brother, we don't like grow body hair like that. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah. I never knew like the intricacies of like shaving and stuff. So I walked
the same way as me not knowing Long Island or the city because I didn't need to know it. I didn't experience it. I didn't need to know it.
Right. So I walked in and I'm like, okay, he's shaving. I'm like, okay, that must be normal.
Yeah.
Like sort of thing. But I'm like, all right. But I was just like,
we just laughed. We literally, I think we just bursted out laughing because it's like, what are you gonna say? What do you say to that?
I was like, it's kind of weird, but I'm like, whatever.
But I'm happy you didn't think it was too weird because we wouldn't be here right now to this day.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So before we end, I want to tell this one story about the very first day we met.
Okay. I'm hazy, so tell me. I'm
moving that. Once I start talking, you're gonna remember it. So I remember we were moving in. We were moving all our stuff. You already know where I'm gonna go.
Okay, lead. I want you to tell me because you tend to tell it better because you've experienced it.
You were not. So me and Chris had talked a little bit, before, and it's its own story.
Yeah. I'll put a little prerequisite on this. If you don't know me, when you first get to know me, I could be shyer. I'm a lot once you get to know me, so I don't like to show everyone my full. People say that all the time, you know what I mean? But I can be a lot sometimes. Ryan could attest to it. Sometimes I'm too much, but everyone's like that. Yeah. So I'm shy when I meet people to see if they're gonna like me or not. I make little jokes, but nothing crazy. So continue.
Right. So I remember you and I think your dad had gone out to go to Walmart to grab you some stuff that you missed or whatever when you were,
Or I think my dad might have went out and I went with Matt maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that might have been it.
And so it was me, my mom, and Chris's mom. And Chris's mom was like, oh, like, just so you know, like, don't be offended if Chris doesn't talk to you. He doesn't really like talking to people and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. I'm like, that's fine. Like, whatever. I'm not going to be offended. But, like, as soon as your parents left, I'm like, I'm like, he's normal. Yeah. Like, he's talking to me and like.
So I'm gonna tell you my perspective of hearing, because Ryan, I don't know if you told me that day or told me like
it was a while.
Yeah, I know you. I remember when you told me that, and I always think like to this day, I'm like, my mom tried to make me come home. I think.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a joke. I know she was trying. My mom, no malicious bone in her body. She was just trying to be nice and trying to be nice to you and saying, yo, if he doesn't talk to you, like don't feel like it's you, it's just him. But my mom, not thinking like that, my mom tried to sabotage me and make me not be friends with Ryan. It was like, hey, by the way, he's awkward, he's antisocial, and don't let him grab the backpack. Like, I don't know what you're looking for. No, I'm just joking. That's a joke. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what she was. Everyone's shy and everyone's nervous when you meet someone, especially college. And then you were nervous too. Like, everyone's nervous. And we found our friends so quick and it was good. But I just love that story. And I'm happy you told that, because my mom really was like, yeah, man, he just hates people. He just hates people. And I've met people, we've met people in college who are probably like that.
Yeah, we definitely have. But I was like, I don't know. I was like preparing myself. Yeah. Like, okay, he's quiet, like shy kid, but like as soon as literally like all of our family left and everything, like it was Matt was there too. We were all just like chopping it up. We were talking like, you know, making jokes, whatever.
It was so funny because me and Ryan talked. I don't know how long this is gonna go. I'm not gonna make it go on too long, but I know me and Ryan talked before, and we were trying to like figure out things we brought, and we literally had these because Ryan saw me, but I didn't know what Ryan looked like or anything. So we had these images of these people we were gonna meet in our head. Like first off, I didn't even know Ryan was
black.
No, literally, I thought he was because the way he's like, I do cross country, I sometimes play video games, I iron.
You know, I know. I was literally telling my friends, I'm like, there's no way it's gonna know that I'm black, because my full name is.
No, yeah, and I tried looking him up. Obviously, I didn't care. I don't. Yeah, no. I was just. It was funny. I saw you and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I was wrong. And then you saw me and you thought I weighed 350 pounds.
The one picture that I could see of you was like that. The picture of you in like your school newsletter, and like I don't know, you look like just big.
It was a bad picture. It was just a bad picture. I had like a sweater on and stuff. I think like it was just a bad picture, you know. and obviously
it was just your head too. So that's kind of also, I like couldn't really gauge what you actually looked like.
This man said he bowls. He said, "Oh, it's gotta be huge."
I mean,
but. I just think that's a funny like story too, that we literally were talking and we kind of talked, and Ryan would text weird, and I'd kind of like, I was like, I don't know how much I could text him, like like do I text him a lot?
I was trying to, because I'm like, this is weird, like I'm going to college, I'm not gonna know this kid. I'm like, let me try and get to know him a little bit. I probably maybe text a little too much, but I'm like,
no, it's like we were on Tinder, man. I like didn't know what to do. I'm like, do I wait 20 minutes to text?
I would literally be at work like, I don't know, let me just hit this guy up. Let me see.
Yo, you bringing a mini fridge? And you said yeah.
I remember I asked you, I'm like, oh, like, you thought it was so weird. I was like, are you gonna bring an ironing board?
I was like, no. I was like, what is an iron? I knew what an iron was, but I never used one. To this day, I feel like I've maybe used one time. Yeah. But that's just because my clothes are wrinkled. I don't really care.
It is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just so funny. I literally remember like texting and be like, yeah, this kid's not a weirdo, but I'm like, this kid's just some scrawny white boy. Because I knew who ran cross country in my school, and they're all small, literally short, small white boys.
I knew who ran cross country in my school too.
Like Noah ran it, but I don't know. I feel like, I mean, you remind me of Noah. I've said that. Because just like certain ways, like just we talk, it's just I can just feel it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've always felt, I don't know, but. There's just ways you just remind me, because the music you both like, and when you both get drunk, like it's like a party. Oh yeah, yeah, and like awesome.
We won't talk about that.
No, yeah, I don't. Like, trust me, I don't want to talk about my experiences either. but yeah, honestly, I'm alright with chopping up right there and ending it right there. You know, I always do a little like, thank you for listening. If you do listen, if you got this far, thank you. I know sometimes it can be hard to listen to me talk, but I could talk forever. As well, I think together we could talk
we could
forever.
Definitely talk for a long. Especially we have a lot of college stories that we can get into. But
literally, like we didn't even scratch the surface of our relationship. Basically,
Yeah.
like I didn't even. And the thing is, like I didn't even get to my topics. Like I don't even know what that third topic was. Oh yeah, about how you literally started. Yeah, but I
didn't read that. What was it?
It was the third topic was how you like MMA and how we like both like MMA
right.
and basically how you started to get into MMA after like I tried to get him into MMA and he didn't want to.
Well,
and then
you did get me.
I set you up, yeah.
Yeah. But we can go there.
That's a whole like who
day.
knows, another day, another podcast.
Yeah.
But again, thank you listeners, whoever's here. It's fun, man. This is good. I think this is it. You got anything to say? You want to say your last piece? I asked Zach if he had anything to say at the end.
Hey, Venmo me. I don't know if you ever listen to this. I need some money. Yeah,
he's moving. He's moving soon, so
I'll be moved yesterday.
hey, if anyone here has any extra furniture, and I know a guy basically.